A very good morning to all my dear students. Today is April 9th, 2020, and I am Ananya Chugh, taking care of English of class 10. And today, this video is made on a purpose to discuss question answers with all of you of this particular poetry that we discussed in the previous video, that is Fire and Ice. The poetry is written by Robert Frost, and we are going to discuss NCERT questions of this one poetry. And in this video, I want you to focus mainly on the way I'm answering the questions, how I'm framing the answers, and how exactly I'm using the information given in the poetry in my answers. The first question is, there are many ideas about how the world will end. Do you think the world will end someday? Have you ever thought what would happen if the sun goes so hot that it burst or grew colder and colder? So, particularly here, it is an opinion based question. He's asking about our opinion, that what do we think? And the answer to this question will be totally based on the facts that we have been given in the story, how the poet has expressed in the story that how this world is going to end. Because when it is a short answer to a question, we're not supposed to go beyond that. Unfortunately, the world is going to end one day and there is nothing we can do about it. There are many ideas as to how it will end, right? Because in poetry we have discussed two ideas. So obviously there are more than one ideas that how the world is going to end. But one can't say for sure. The reason that life exists only on earth is that the circumstances and temperature is apt to make it possible. If the sun gets so hot, you see how we are getting to the point, how the poet has expressed it in the poetry. One day that it is at the verge of bursting, the sun gets hot, it would lead to rapid destruction as there would be fire everywhere. So here is how we got to the destruction of fire. And conversely, if it goes in the opposite way, if it grows colder and colder. What am I referring to here? Yes, I'm referring to ice. There will be ice everywhere on earth, and life in any form would not be able to sustain at such low temperatures that life will end and the world will end. Right. So this is how I have put forward the ideas of Robert Frost in word. Obviously, we can do it in some other way also. Compare the fire and ice to its symbolic meanings of desire and hatred in a short answer question. When the question is long answer type, yes, you need to learn all the vocabulary words that have been given to you in the video before and in the summary and wherever you may find it in the link that I shared with you. But right now, in a short answer type question, we are not supposed to discuss what does fire refers to, what does ice refers to. Right. Second question for Frost, what do fire and ice stand for? So here are some ideas. We have to divide these all the humanly emotions into these two headings that are fire and ice. Greed, avarice, cruelty, lust, conflict, fury, intolerance, rigidity, insensitivity, coldness, indifference, hatred. Right. So before going on to the answer directly, I would request you all to pause the video here and find out the meanings. And if you don't know the meanings, you can find out the meanings in the dictionary or on Google, right? And then try to put them under the headings fire and ice on your own in a notebook before you go further and see my answer. And how will you divide them under fire and ice? Under fire, you will put those emotions which are generally out of control or which spread very fast. And those emotions which can be controlled somewhere in our control and are very slow on their reaction or on their action. Okay, put those under I. I hope you all have done it. And now, according to Frost, fire stands for greed. See, greed spreads a lot, so that is why I've put greed under fire. And I accept that not everybody is greedy, but somewhere in our life, the greed is to want more, right? You already have something, you want more of it. So imagine anything you love. So greed and even in sensitive things, insensitive things, greed is there. Conflict is something which obviously spreads very fast. I don't agree with you, I will fight with you right away. You will fight with me right back. So there are less chances that someone will give up the fight and say, okay, we are having a disagreement here, let's leave it. No. Yeah, so it's fury is prompt reaction and generally it happens. Cruelty, I'm cruel to you, you are not a cruel person, but if I'm cruel to you, you might be cruel to me. Similarly, in lust and avarice, they are related to desire and they spread too fast. It is very clearly explained in the poetry already. Under eyes, we have put insensitivity. If I'm insensitive, I might not even pay attention, right? So it doesn't spread. It's slow. It kills slowly. Coldness, intolerance. These are things which make us ignore, right? We tend to ignore things when these human emotions are there. We tend to ignore. But the emotions which are associated with fire are generally those which spread. Fine. Moving on to question number 3, what is the rhyme scheme of the poem? Everybody knows what is the rhyme scheme of the poem. We have discussed it in detail in the previous video. We started the video with this. How does it help in bringing out the contrasting ideas in the poem? So, fire is rhyming with desire, if you remember, right? So, contrasting ideas are coming. It is giving a comparison between humanly emotions and the elements of nature and how the world is going to end by the elements of nature and by the action of human beings or the reaction of their emotions. Right. So the poet has used the rhyming beautifully to bring out contrasting ideas in the poem. He has used the ideas of two groups who believe that the world would come to a catastrophic end, a very significant end which is going to happen one day or the other. We cannot change it. So there's one group of people that believe that world will end with fire, and there's another group of people that believe that the world will end in ice. So this is how he has put the rhyme scheme, right? Simultaneously, he portrays these two essential components as features of destructive human emotions, which are the two components of fire and ice, and then fire is representing desire and ice is representing hatred, which are human emotions, right? So just like fiery desires and icy hatred can cause damage to an individual in an irreparable manner, a lot can be damaged. A person can get damaged by hatred. So similarly, if there is enough of hatred, obviously the world can also be damaged, right? It can lead to the destruction of world. Fire and ice can lead the world at the verge of chaos and thus apocalypse. And thus the world will end. So this is how the poet has described these humanly emotions with the contrast to the elements of nature that are fire and ice. And you see how I have explained this question over here. The answer to the question is given totally sticking to what the poet has spoke about in the poetry itself. For any additional questions, extra questions, extract based questions to practice after you have done the question answers of your book, please go to this website, EduMantra. It has so many additional questions, extract based questions, short answer types, long answer types, and go read them, mark the important points from those answers, and learn whatever you feel is important and can be used from examination point of view. And then also do that assignment that has been given to you for self-assessment, because that is going to let you understand the poetry in a better way and also will test how much you have understood from the lessons and how much you need to work on it, right? And I would request all the parents to please make sure that children are using their time and they are not postponing their lessons or homework. Make sure they are doing the work assigned to them in a timely manner. Stay safe, stay indoors, maintain social distancing. Thank you.